in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, Ivan as well here. How are you all? Trust you having a good day today. Um, uh, I see some familiar names. I was going to say familiar faces, but obviously familiar names in the attendees list today. Some new names that I don't recognize. Welcome to the new traders amongst us. So obviously it's different times of day for everybody, and I greatly appreciate you attending today's webinar. I've got Errol and Yvette on the line with me. They're gonna help me answer some questions. It is a relatively large attendance today, actually, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So, today's webinar is going to be a relatively simple topic. We're going to discuss about how to use the email alerts in your trading. In fact, the email alerts part is quick and easy. I guess I'm just going to talk about, how the email alerts differentiate themselves from what you see on Autochartist normally. Errol is on the line with me. He's going to answer any questions that you all may have. I think the webinar is going to be pretty short today. I don't think it's going to be more than 15 or 20 minutes. And if I don't get through to your question, please don't hesitate to contact our support desk. Let me put that email address in for you right now. It is support@autochartist.com. If you don't get your question answered, please drop us an email right there. It is actually, wow, the room was just filled out in the last few minutes while I've been babbling on for a bit. Well, okay. Again, if you have questions, please ask them in the question section. I'll try to get to them when I can. I try to keep an eye on that questions panel, but sometimes I like to focus on what I'm trying to say. And I think we should get going now. So what you should all be seeing my screen in front of you, and what you should be seeing is the Autochartist web application. In fact, this is just one of the ways to get access to the daily emails. For me, from a demonstration perspective, it's the easiest way for me to show you where to get it, but different brokers have different ways of accessing the email reports. So if you have access to the Autochartist web application, the easiest thing to do is to click on the messaging and alerts section. On the top left-hand side of the screen, you should enter your email address, okay? And then you should choose which reports you want to get access to. Let me untick the ones that I have access to right now. You'll actually see that we have a number of reports: Forex, London Stock Exchange, New York, this is Frankfurt, Futures, Australian market, IC, and MySex in Russia. Okay, so we have a number of reports available, and you can preview those reports before you subscribe to them. You can just click the preview button and actually get a view on what you'll be getting in your inbox. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment when you actually get it in your mail. Right? So you can preview those results, and if you want to subscribe to these, I'll show you what I'm subscribed to. So Forex US session. I subscribe to the US session because I live in Texas, in the United States. So I like to get mine just before I wake up. Okay, and I subscribe to mine in English. You can actually subscribe in multiple languages if that's what you want to do. But obviously, well, I'm not quite sure why you would want to do that, but if you do, you're certainly welcome to. I subscribe to Forex. I subscribe to the New York Stock Exchange, again, before the opening of the US in English, and I also subscribe to the futures markets. You can see I have the US session ticked and English ticked. Okay, and what you would do is you would click the save button, and that would subscribe you to all those email reports. So just to give an idea, if you select the Asian session, The Asian session email comes through about 30 minutes before the open of the Tokyo markets. The European session email comes through about 30 minutes before the open of London, and the US session email comes through about 30 minutes before the open of the US session. Okay, so because I've got my email open, I've got a lot of little pop-ups coming up on my screen. I hope you ignore those, but in order to show you the emails coming through my inbox, I have to have my email open. So I'm going to try to close them down as quickly as I can. Hope nothing private comes through. That will be pretty funny. Okay, so so here we go. So once you've subscribed to those sessions, you will actually get emails in your inbox that look something like this. Okay, this is an example of the Forex report. Before I go into detail about what this report is actually, well, actually, let me go through an overview, and then I want to show you one other very important email that you might want to subscribe to. So let me rather do this first. So let's say this is the Forex report. At the top of the report, you would have a market summary, right, which is the important upcoming high-impact news events that are coming up in the next 8 hours or so, and you can add those to your calendar by clicking on those little calendar icons. You also have a notifications panel, which is some messages that your broker might want to communicate to you. Sometimes there's notifications of upcoming webinars, meetings, etc., etc. You know, your broker through whom you get Autochartist provides you this and any important notifications. You have a summary of the latest market movements for the last 24 hours. You can see euro-dollar has just gone up a little tad, USDJPY 0.5% up, etc., etc. These are the last 24 hours summary. And then you know, after all those informational sections, you actually have the trading opportunities themselves. Okay. Now, if you notice, well, something I want to highlight is the target period of these opportunities. Now, many years ago, Autochartist used to send out, we used to have functionality that used to send out emails for every alert that we identify. And as you can imagine, identifying a few hundred alerts a day didn't sit very well with our users, and we were asked to very quickly shut down that service. Okay, and so what we've ended up doing is we've ended up only sending out 3 emails a day, right? And what we've also had issues with is delayed email opening, right? So for example, if we send this email out at the start of the day, you might only open up the email, you know, a few hours later, and then there's already mass confusion about, you know, a trading opportunity has expired or hasn't it expired. And in fact, we have, I think it's Jonathan asking a question right now about what are the little ghost bars at the end of the graph. So those ghost bars are very interesting. I want to actually show you what this means. So you can see in our information on this email that this is an opportunity identified on euro-dollar on 30-minute candles, right? The opportunity was actually identified a few hours ago, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 or 5 hours ago, right? And the email was sent out. So those ghost bars at the end, what actually happened after the opportunity was identified. Okay, so we think the price is going to 10998, right, or 1.1. The price hasn't reached that level yet, so Autochartist will keep including this opportunity in your email, but certainly this opportunity is a few hours old. Now imagine getting something on 15 minutes, all right? Now you open that 2 or 3 hours later and you'll be completely confused because the price would have moved, all right? So what we try to do in our emails is not provide the really short-term opportunities. What we try to do is email you only the opportunities which are kind of, I think it's 5 hours or longer in terms of a target period of hitting the target level. right? So you'll see when you scroll through the email that you get, here's a typical example actually. US dollar Japanese yen, we think the price is going up to 112.86, but we think it's going to go there in the next 3 days, right? Here's one on GBP USD, we think 5 hours time, right? So what we do is here's another one, another long-term one, AUD USD, we think it's a 2-day forecast that we give you. So what we try to do in the emails is not provide you really, really short-term opportunities for the next 15 minutes or hour. What we try to do is provide you a more kind of longer-term view on the markets. Of course, everyone's definition of longer term is different, but certainly nothing shorter than 5 or 6 hours in length, right? So most of the time, you'll see that the data intervals in these emails is actually 1 hour, 4 hours. To get something which of data interval 30 minutes is pretty unusual actually. By the time we send these out, these opportunities have expired, and so we don't really send them out that often. Some other interesting information in these email reports is some supporting indicators. In this situation, we said there's a downward sloping moving average. You can see the moving average line over there. It's kind of flat. I must be honest with you. I'm not quite sure why this was classified as a downward sloping moving average. Certainly, this wasn't downward sloping. Let's see if we can get a better example. Nothing here. Nothing here. Yeah, for example, so what we like to do, it doesn't seem to be a good example in this latest email that we have, but a downward sloping moving average would be a confirming indicator to a breakout. Okay, so when it was broken out, maybe we could have argued it was downward sloping. In fact, I'll open up my MetaTrader in just a moment and actually see if that was actually the case or not. Okay, and what obviously we have is some information about resistance levels and other support levels, right? And they're labeled A, B. So you can see we think that A is a support level, B is a resistance level. So again, we give some additional information. One interesting one is, for example, this one over here, where the supporting indicator is an RSI, right? So instead of looking at the moving average slope, we're saying the RSI is quite low, and we think because of that, it's been in an oversold position. So we think the price is going up. Okay, so that's just a brief overview, of course, of what the information is that's contained in your market report. We call that a daily market report that you can subscribe to. Before I carry on with some of these examples, I want to actually quickly switch to a different email that you can subscribe to, and that is this correlating signals. You'll actually notice that I am actually I've actually subscribed to this correlating signals myself. Let's see if there's anything new here. Okay, nothing new. It's a bit old right now. And Jonathan, this is going to be the same question you had. I want to tell you about these correlating signals. This is the most awesome little tool ever, okay? And not just because I envisaged it and produced the initial version. Obviously, it was greatly improved by the tech guys, but this is the way I used to use, in fact, I do use Autochartist, and that's why we created this product. What I always look for when I trade is confirming indicators. And what we did in this correlating signals product is we try to identify when you have support and resistance levels saying the same thing as chart patterns. Okay, so the example I'm showing you here is very old, and we don't have a newer one because these opportunities only come up once in a while, right? Maybe once a week or twice a week if we're fortunate. Okay, this is an old one, but I'll quickly highlight what I want to show you in this. In the situation, you can see that there was a channel on 30-minute data for CAD-JPY and a support level on 15-minute data on CAD-JPY. And both of them projected the same forecast down to about 82. This one was 82.10, this is 81.91, right? Both of them identified this bearish trend, and you can see what happened. Again, this is the same question that Jonathan was asking before, that both of them were saying down to that level when it was identified. And so if you subscribe to this correlating signals alerting mechanism by email, you will actually get them by email as soon as they happen. Be warned though, they are sometimes on very low time intervals, like these 30-minute time intervals, 15-minute time intervals. So you have to react pretty quickly to it. You have to kind of run to your MetaTrader or your whatever platform you have and open it up and actually, you know, think about taking that position. But certainly these are very, very high quality trading opportunities, but they are very rare. Okay, but certainly if I was you, I would be looking to subscribe to this in our reporting section. Sorry, in our email section under correlating signals. We do have one other email you can subscribe to. I do subscribe to this for the US session. This is an email with the upcoming high impact events. The thing is, though, is that if you subscribe to the daily market reports, there's no real need to subscribe to this, because this information, let me quickly scroll back for you, is actually contained at the top of the report. The only difference is the regular market report gives it to you for the next 8 hours. The high impact email gives it to you for the next 24 hours. So, you know, depending on what you want, but certainly it's just informational. There's nothing that, you know, that you really need to act on immediately. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to this correlating signals email. It is awesome, and really, it truly is awesome. Okay, so so now that I've shown you how to actually get to that information, what I'm going to do is I've actually got my MetaTrader open, and let's have a look at this Euro USD example on 30-minute data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I've actually got Euro USD. Obviously, I was planning for the session here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop the Autochartist Expert Advisor onto my MetaTrader. Of course, some of you might not be using MetaTrader. You might be using other pieces of software, but you know, here it is. Anyway, just to show you how to trade it. So you can actually see that. Okay, so we thought we were going to go to 1.1. Okay, so let's add that level in there. 1.1. Okay, so we identified, if you can, I'm actually just going to draw this on here. We identified that opportunity over here. We thought it was going to go to 1.1. It certainly hit that level, rebounded, but hit that level again. So that was a pretty good call, but you can see an example where I read this email too late, right? I read this email a few hours too late. Look at this example on USDJPY, however. So let me erase these drawing objects. Let's just see USDJPY. What data interval is that? That is 4 hourly candles. So let's switch to 4 hourly candles in USDJPY. Okay, so here's that example on USDJPY. You can see the image on my chart is actually exactly the same as the image on the market report, and we think it's going up to that level around, what is it, 113.30 or so. Let's just confirm what it is up here. 112.86 we think it's going to. So let's just see, 112.86, 112.86. Okay, so around there. So again, we identified this 12 hours ago. Again, we're slightly late, although Autochartist, if you look at this graph, has changed its forecast, thinks it's going up now to to 113.35. So certainly there's still an opportunity to actually place a trade long here on USDJPY 4 hour. And you can see actually by, I don't know if any of you have noticed these blue lines on the right-hand side. This is what we call the volatility analysis. So we think that it's going to be at 113.26 within the next 4 hours. So slightly more than 4 hours time. If it continues in the same direction, it could be up at our projected target around 113.20. Okay, but certainly this is a good indication of where to set your stops or take profits, right? So, we don't. Right. Well, I mean, this is actually not I have to stop myself, right? This is not a presentation about volatility analysis, right? But I guess what I want to say is that you should look at these volatility analysis levels to give you an indication of where the price is going over the next, predefined period. Okay. So again, here it is, and if we want to look at the supporting indicators, right, we've got supporting indicators RSI below 40, right, we can actually insert that indicators, an oscillator, where is our RSI? We use a 34 RSI. Okay, so 34 RSI, when it was identified, it was just around 30 or so. Here it is, value 42, around the same price, about 40. We think it's kind of slightly oversold, and you can see it's coming through from an oversold place over here at about 39. Again, these are confirming indicators, right? Everything here is about confirming indicators. So that's quite an interesting thing. Although I must say, if we add a trend indicator, I just want to create a moving average here. I always use 34 moving average. The trend indicator is actually pointing in the opposite direction, right? So this, for me, is interesting because you would ask me, would I take this position or not? I would think twice. Certainly, at the point of breakout, let me actually draw a bit so I can actually show you my thinking. At the point of breakout, which is on that candle over there, I would question whether I would take this position, because you see, although there was a nice rally up to the breakout, you can see immediately after that the next candle went down, right? And now it's reverted again. So I think now that the breakout has been confirmed, I think I might consider taking this position. Certainly at the point of breakout, because there was this other moving average moving in this direction against the trend, I certainly would hesitate around taking this position. But now that there's a confirmation, I think yes, there is a likelihood that it will actually go up to that level up there. But anyway, I guess I want to show you my thought process when I evaluate these trades from these emails, is that one should never just trade blindly, okay? But one does need to look at the opportunities available to you, inspect them visually, and decide whether this is something that might be of interest to you. So let's look at something else that might be of interest. Okay, USD CAD, looks like we missed this one. Let's see if there's something else of interest. This is quite interesting actually. Euro Swiss franc. I wonder if I have that on my graphs. I don't actually have Euro Swiss franc on my graphs. Euro CAD. This is quite interesting. Let's see if we can add Euro CAD in there. We don't have Euro CAD in there on my favorites. Certainly some interesting opportunities here, which I don't want to start opening up MetaTrader with a million different charts. But this is quite an interesting one, NZDJPY on 4 hourly. Let's have a look at what that, let's see what that looks like, NZDJPY 4 hourly. Okay, so USDJPY 4 hourly. This is certainly very interesting. So you can see what I want to show you here is again how late we were with reading this email, right? You can actually see, I'm going to bring up my drawing tools here, how this opportunity was this breakout over here, right? And we projected a level of 72.92. So let's draw that on here, 72. It's slightly lower than there. It kind of headed in that direction, stopped and turned around, now going back the other way, right? Interestingly enough, you can see now there's a breakout through that resistance level over here. So I'd be very, very interested to see what actually happens here. So certainly it's sort of, if you took the position initially, as soon as you read the email, you probably would have made a bit of money, but not all the way down to the forecast level. And now it's actually turned around and going back up north towards resistance. Certainly for me, it looks like a very interesting opportunity. I might actually put this on my watch list to wait for a confirming breakout or a round off this resistance. In fact, I'm thinking that there might actually, if I just extend this for a moment, might actually be waiting for a rebound off this resistance level, because I don't think that this breakout is strong enough as yet to take this position. But anyway, I think what I've tried to do, and I think I've done successfully, is to show you what you know, how to use the email, certainly how I use the emails to initiate my trading. Okay, so let me get to a few questions because I've been babbling on for over 20 minutes now. So Peter asked a good question. How do you, at what stage, or how do you identify when a trade has failed? Peter, with us it's quite simple. If it's bounced the other way, I won't go into specific technical details. If it's bounced the other way, we automatically remove it from our trading opportunities, and it goes into what we call expired trading opportunities if it's bounced the other way, or when it's actually hit our target price, then we expire it as well. Okay. Okay, so Denise, has asked about a specific broker. This webinar is actually broker agnostic, so I can't mention any broker names. But if you have a question about whether a specific broker offers our tool, you can drop us an email to support@autochartist.com. But Denise, certainly your broker does support, and your broker's platform does support Autochartist. Yes. Jonathan, I'm glad that you made a profitable trade on one of our signals there. Good. Denise, there's Autochartist is available on multiple platforms, not only MetaTrader. It's just easy for me to show you the MetaTrader platform, but we support numerous platforms. If you can drop us an email to support@autochartist.com, we'd be more than happy to assist you in the platform that you're wanting to use. Stefano, again, asking about a specific platform. Stefano, we don't have a relationship with that platform. Certainly, please go ahead and ask them to form a relationship with us. We support about 10 different platforms in the industry. That is one platform that we don't support as yet. So Jonathan is having some problems installing the EA. On MetaTrader, Jonathan, certainly, please. I'm not going to deal with technical issues here. You know, so and certainly I wouldn't even be able to answer most of your technical questions. So I'm more kind of a trading guy than a technical support guy. Certainly, please drop us an email to support@autochartist.com, and we will get somebody to call you or assist you by email. Okay, so Brody, Bodhi, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Bodhi, what he's asking, what is the meaning of the orange color image you put on the chart. Okay, let's have a look, see what you mean. Okay, so the orange color, I'm assuming you're asking about the these levels, these support and resistance levels. So the orange colored lines are what we think are significant levels in the current price action of the instruments we're looking at. So you can see that this level here at the top here, which we called B, is significant because there was a turnaround of the price at that level. This one labeled A is actually, you can see there's been a lot of consolidation at that level, right? If I actually create a pen here, you'll see this consolidation at this point here, at this point here, at this point here, there's a lot of consolidation. That's why we think that this orange level is important. This one over here, that orange line is where the breakout actually happened, and this orange line is what we think is the target price for that opportunity. Bodhi, I hope I've answered your question, but basically the orange lines are what we think are significant price action levels. So we have a question from, I don't know if it's Jan or Jan or Jan. There's lots of different ways of pronouncing it. He's asking how much does Autochartist charge. So I'll assume it's Jan. Jan, Autochartist is not something you can buy. Autochartist is always provided free of charge by your broker. We are not a company that sells Autochartist directly to the public. We always have brokers paying on their customers' behalf. In fact, you'll find that most brokers that care about their customers' profitability do actually provide Autochartist. Some brokers that don't care about your profitability don't offer Autochartist. So if you get Autochartist from your broker, then you've chosen the right broker. Well done. If you don't, if your broker doesn't offer Autochartist, you need to think twice about which broker you're using. Jonathan is asking about the orange exclamation mark. Okay, I'm sorry, Jonathan, I misunderstood. Let me try go back to Autochartist trading opportunities, and now I won't be able to show it to you right now because obviously there's no new patterns coming up now, but Jonathan is referring to little orange icons that come up on the side. So what you'll actually get is sometimes orange icons coming up on the side of here. So Jonathan, those orange icons actually means those are brand new opportunities that have just been identified. Okay, so if you've got your Autochartist web application open and you get a little beeping sound and orange exclamation marks, those means those are brand new opportunities that have come up, right? So we have one last question because I've been going for more than 30 minutes. This is going to be my last question that I answer. All other questions, please, guys, ask support@autochartist.com. My last question is from Ahmed, I think it is. Ahmed, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I will give you the link of where you can download the latest version of Autochartist. So if you just give me one moment, I will get that link for you. Okay, so here is the link for the MetaTrader plugin. Of course, if you want a plugin or to know how to access Autochartist through any other platforms, please send us an email, support@autochartist.com, and our help desk will be sure to assist you on that. There will be a recording tomorrow, available tomorrow. We'll email you everything. Stefano, you're asking a specific question for a specific broker. If you could drop that email into our support desk, support@autochartist.com, we'll answer your question immediately about how to get Autochartist through your broker. But your broker, yes, does offer Autochartist. Yes, it does. So with that, I think I must leave you all. It's been more than 35 minutes. I appreciate your time and attendance to this webinar today. I hope you enjoy using our messaging and alerts and the emails. Don't forget to subscribe to those correlating signals. They're really good, really, really good. So I hope you enjoy those. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.